So, sitting down, getting ready to watch night two of the RNC convention. Highly optimistic and very excited to see even more We the People, Pro America campaigning. Last night was phenomenal. Absolutely loved seeing Herschel Walker. I absolutely loved seeing um, the Kansas City couple that were defending their own homes. Still confused as to what charges they were indicted on. Apparently, they actually were indicted. I don't know what the charge was, but that's beside the point. Um, every speaker last night just blew me away. And as much as I love the Trump family and Kimberly Guilfoyle by extension, didn't really like that too much. I mean, it kind of the whole tenor of the evening completely changed when she got on there, and her messaging was great and all that, but it was a bit too much. So Kimberly, maybe tone it down a little bit. But anyway, be that as it may, the tenor of last night was phenomenal, and I love the way our president, our administration brings the common man, the common woman, into the narrative, into the conversation, and gets out there. What pains us and what accomplishments we love seeing. So again, tonight I'm anxious to see the first lady speak, which I understand she is. I haven't really looked that closely beyond that, who's on the agenda talking tonight, but anxiously awaiting to see that. So, in a lot of ways, intuition and just your gut feeling tells you is what you have to rely on today with all the misinformation that's out there on what's real, what's not real, who's good, who's not good. And I got to tell you, every time I see our president do something and I listen to him, my gut, my instincts just tell me that he is a good person. I really does. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but I think over the past couple of days he pardoned a gentleman that had been convicted. He was arrested for robbing a bank, and he spent 5 years in prison. And while he was in prison, he found God, and when he came out, he started a new movement that he engaged with the president around regarding a pathway forward for people coming out of prison. So anyway, he was telling his story. The FBI um, field officer that arrested him, that befriended him when he was in prison, they became close friends. And Trump basically telling that story. At the end of it, he told him that I don't know if you're aware of this, but I'm going to pardon you, and he did it right there. And the guy was just completely taken aback. He had no idea that was coming. So he served his time and he's out, but I guess that effectively kind of wipes his record clean of what he did. So it was really just an emotional moment, and it just seems so genuine with Trump. It really does. Now, some people would say that it's all about the camera, it's all about optics, it's all about. You can say that to an extent, but at the end of the day, you can get a sense of the true well-being behind the facade. So I don't know. It just really moved me last night. It moved me. I don't remember the names exactly, but the gentleman that actually was from Cuba that spoke near the end of the evening. Talk about someone that put it out there. He sees our country moving in a direction that he saw happening in Cuba, and unfortunately, I think a lot of people that needed to hear that message probably weren't paying attention. I think part of the problem is they're listening to the deep state propaganda engine that the media has become, and that's where their emotions, that's where their beliefs are being influenced by. But if they would have thought outside the box, if they would have taken the time to watch the RNC convention speakers last night, they would have seen a completely different story that I'm hearing from people on the streets. And especially if they would have listened, Alvarez, I think it's Alvarez was the gentleman's name. But anyway, he's from Cuba. The key line that he said at the end of his speech, if you're listening to this and you didn't watch last night, there's a few key speakers that you should go to YouTube and just kind of pick theirs out and listen to them. But he from Cuba, business owner in Miami that is a refugee from Cuba. He basically said that if we let the country go in the direction that Cuba went to communism, socialism, there's no place else to go. The world still looks to the United States as a leader in free society and democratic society and the freedoms that our Constitution emboldened us with. And people move mountains to get here because of that. I work with people that are going through the visa process, and they may have complaints about our government and our systems, but it's better than where they were. So, I mean, to me, that speaks volumes. They may not even like Trump, but because of our country and the potential that's there, um, they see the values. Anyway, um, I think that because of everything that's going on, and I have to think the Democrats, the Democrats are, I say that, the Democrats are basically showing their true colors because this is it. The next 2 to 3, is it 2 to 3 months? September, October, next 2 months is the runway to the election and what's going to happen, and they're pulling out all the stops. You know, I can't draw worth of crap. I'm not an artist, but I do think visually, and I've got this vision in my head. If someone out there could actually create a meme around this, but I've got this vision in my head of President Trump's face on a man, and in one hand he's holding out a cross towards the deep state that's representative of Obama and Biden and Kamala Harris and Hillary, Pelosi, Schumer, all of them. He's basically holding a cross towards them, looking at you with a smile on his face. And while he's holding this cross in their direction, those characters, their demonic personage is basically coming out with their facade, if you will, dripping off behind them. I've got that image in my head. So I think they're evil people. I think they're manipulative. I think they're smart. I would not ever say they're not smart. They're not dummies. It bothers me when when people keep saying that they're idiots and they're stupid and they're all incompetent, all this. They know exactly what the hell they're doing. And they're fighting for their lives right now. But I think that they are brilliant at dividing and conquering, which is what racism really is about, dividing and conquering. We're stronger, we're weaker when we're divided. In any event, that's what racism is all about, and they know that the end is near, and all of these knowingly, blatantly knowingly criminal behaviors that Obama and Hillary and Pelosi and Adam Schiff and all of these people that are blatantly criminal, that are getting away with murder, they know that their days are numbered when the time comes. So when the second term comes around, all the investigative work being done over the past 4 years, it's going to get pulled out. It has to. It really does. Because Trump has said time and time and time again, we cannot allow this to happen to any other president again. And you can say what you want about the President Trump, but if you pay even a remote amount of attention to him, things he says 99.9% of the time come true. He'll say something, he'll predict something, it comes true. So just take it for what it's worth. So even if I hated Trump and I were a Democrat, I would at least pay attention to him enough to know what is coming down the pike. Let's put it that way. In any event, looking forward to tonight. You know, the preamble to the RNC night two is already starting, so I'm kind of watching it out the side of my eye here, but really looking forward to it. This is the America that I've always known is there. Last night I saw a taste of it. Tonight I'm hoping to see taste of it again. Seeing videos and photos of We the People / POTUS signs and flags going up and down rivers and creeks and river and lakes and the ocean. I go out wearing, obviously I'm a Trump guy, so I go out and I wear my Trump hats. It used to be, I kind of live in an area that's kind of conservative anyway, but it would used to be that I'd get the occasional nod and acknowledgement about POTUS. Now I've got people come up to me all the time and start conversations about Trump, just saying yes. So I think the silent majority is no more, and now it's the vocal majority is really coming out in full force. So I'm not worried about the November election outside of corruption. I do think the one play that's starting to be discussed more and more is this, Amendment 20, Section 3 in the Bill of Rights, and they're going to use chaos after the election to fight who the winner of the election is, and by the inauguration, if there's no clear winner, which there will be, but the propaganda engine and the media and the deep state are going to make it appear as though we don't have a clear winner. They're gonna try to subvert Trump getting a second term and moving forward. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens there, because it's fully well known that's what they're trying to do, and because Trump is sneaky like a fox. I'm sure he has plans around that. I know there is a copyright or a patent that was exposed recently about blockchain and security of elections. So there's mechanisms being unfolded there that will help secure the election regardless of what happens on the front end around that. There's been chatter about that, and I've actually looked up the patent, and it's out there. You can search social media to find it. And then the other thing is Brad Parscales has been talking about, and even Trump's alluded to this too, that getting into the election season with the debates and all that they're going to unfold an information dissemination mechanism, not necessarily a campaign, but a mechanism, a means that will keep the message from getting watered down and blocked, if you will. So there's things coming on that front that we should be seeing anytime now. Because we're as soon as the RNC is over this week, next week, you're basically getting in. Then you got 2 months before the election. It's got to happen like ASAP. I've got some ideas of what that may end up being, but they've talked about it, that it's going to be released. It's being finalized and it's coming out. And it'll be a clear and open means of communication, social media, forums, and all that kind of stuff where we're not blocked and basically filtered. So there's things that are getting put into place that are going to solidify and ensure the sanctity of our election that's coming out in November. So look for more on that. I have confidence. So again, looking forward to the RNC convention night 2. Tune in. Pay attention, see what's going on. Don't listen to the media and the news outlets on what's happening. Watch it for yourself. That would be my number one recommendation. So anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to get back to it and see you on the flip side.